What was supposed to be a simple birthday celebration for my brother Michael exploded into a shocking family showdown. In the middle of cake and gifts, someone accused me of covering up Michael's. Suddenly, the party turned into chaos, with false accusations, screaming matches, and secrets spilling everywhere. But when the truth came out, the wrong person had been blamed all along. I swear, no one throws a family gathering like my mom. She had balloons, a huge sheet cake from the Italian bakery downtown, and way too much food lined up on the counter. The excuse this time: Michael's 38th birthday. My brother sat at the head of the dining room table like a king, his wife, Rachel, on one side, and our mom buzzing around with plates on the other. I showed up with my girlfriend, Amanda, carrying a couple bottles of wine. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a chill night, just family, some laughs, the usual awkward toasts. But of course, my family never does normal. The tension started small. Rachel was quieter than usual. She kept looking at Michael with a slight little smile like she was holding something in. At one point she whispered something to him, and his whole face went stiff. I clocked it right away but didn't think much of it. Couples fight, right? Then came the weird comments. "So Michael," Rachel said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "How's work these days? Lots of late nights again?" Michael froze, fork halfway to his mouth. He chuckled awkwardly. "Yeah, you know how it is. Deadlines." Our cousin Daniel piped up from across the table. "Damn, Mike, you're still grinding late hours. Guess someone's got to keep the lights on." Rachel didn't laugh. She sipped her wine and just stared at him. The whole room felt colder instantly. I tried to cut the tension. "Hey, relax, it's his birthday. Can we not do interrogation hour?" But that's when the bomb dropped. Rachel turned her gaze on me. "Actually, maybe you should explain something, since you seem to know so much." I blinked. "Oh, what?" "Don't play dumb," she snapped. Her voice shook, but she was loud enough for everyone to hear. "Michael's been sneaking around, and I have a pretty good idea who's been covering for him." The room went dead silent. Even the kids stopped moving. Michael muttered, "Rachel, stop, not here." But she ignored him and pointed right at me. "It's you. You've been lying to me. Every time I call and ask where he is, you magically have some excuse ready. Oh, he's working late. Oh, he's with me." I felt my ears burn. "What the hell are you talking about? I don't know anything about it." "Oh, really?" Rachel cut me off. "So all those nights, he said he was with you, were you together? Or were you just covering as a fear asterisk?" The entire table exploded with gasps and whispers. Mom looked like she was about to faint. Amanda squeezed my hand under the table, whispering, "Don't lose it, stay calm." But calm was the last thing on my mind. I was sitting in the middle of my brother's birthday party being accused of helping him. And worse, half the family was staring at me like maybe Rachel was right. I felt like someone had just dumped this water down my back. My own sister-in-law was standing in front of everyone, accusing me of covering up my brothers. The looks on people's faces, half shock, half suspicion, cut deeper than the accusation itself. Michael slammed his fork down. "Rachel, enough. Don't drag my brother into this." But Rachel wasn't backing off. Her voice cracked, but she just got louder. "No, Michael, this is the perfect time. You think I'm stupid. Every time you're working late, I find out you're not at the office, and every time I ask where you are, somehow she jab a finger at me magically as you're back. Rachel, I don't even know what you're talking about." I shot back, standing up now too. My chair screeched across the floor. "When have I ever lied for him? Tell me one specific time." She scoffed. "Last Thursday. You told me Michael was with you at the bar watching the game. Except guess what? I drove past that bar. He wasn't there. You weren't there either." The room buzzed. Daniel muttered under his breath, "Holy," and my mom pressed her hand to her chest like she couldn't breathe. I looked straight at Rachel. "I was at home Thursday with Amanda. Ask her." Amanda nodded instantly. "Yeah, we were watching Netflix all night. I even texted Rachel back when she asked if Michael was with us. I said I didn't know." Rachel's face twisted. "That's not true. I remember you covering. Don't gaslight me." Michael's voice cracked through the noise. "Rachel, you're embarrassing yourself. This isn't about my brother." She whirled on him. "Then where were you, Michael? Because you sure as hell weren't at work, and you weren't with him." Now everyone's eyes turned to Michael. His face went pale, his jaw clenched, and for a second even I felt a wave of doubt. He stammered, I was, "Look, I don't owe you a play-by-play of every night." Rachel's eyes gleamed like she had just won. "See, he would answer, because he's guilty. And you," she turned back to me, venom dripping from every word. "You've been his little shield, lying to me, covering for him, making me feel like I'm crazy." My blood boiled. "You don't get to accuse me of lying in front of my whole family just because you don't trust your husband. If Michael's hiding something that's on him, don't drag me into your drama." Mom finally snapped, slamming her hand on the table. "Enough, both of you. Stop screaming. This is supposed to be a birthday, not a circus." But the damage was done. The cake sat untouched. The kids had been ushered into the living room. Half the family was whispering, and the other half was staring at Michael like he was about to confess to murder. I sat back down fuming. I could feel Amanda trembling next to me. Across the table, Rachel folded her arms, glaring like she was daring me to slip up. And Michael? He just sat there, staring into his drink, like maybe the accusations weren't so far off after all. The air was so thick with tension I swear you could cut it with one of Mom's still butter knives. Nobody touched the food. Nobody said a happy birthday. It was just Rachel glaring at me, Michael refusing to meet anyone's eyes, and the rest of the family frozen like they were watching a car crash. Finally, my cousin Daniel broke the silence. "So are we just going to ignore the fact that someone might be here?" Like, what's actually going on? Mom shot him in death stare. Daniel, stay out of it. But it was too late. Rachel pounced. No, let him ask. Let's stop pretending. Michael, do you have something to tell your family? Or do I have to show everyone the messages? That wordy messages made my stomach drop. Michael's head snapped up. Rachel, don't. Rachel's lips curled into a bitter smile. Oh, so now you care? Too late. She pulled her phone out of her purse and waved it like a weapon. Amanda whispered to me, this is insane. I leaned forward. What messages? Rachel's hands were shaking as she tapped her screen. These texts from an unknown number, saved under just a first name, Clara, flirty emojis, late night calls, and guess what? A few of those nights matched the ones you covered for him. I snapped back instantly. I had no idea any of this was happening. But now the family's eyes weren't on me, they were on Michael. His face was red, jaw clenched, and he still hadn't denied anything. Daniel muttered, Bro, at least say it isn't true. Michael finally spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. It's complicated. The room exploded. Rachel slammed the phone on the table. Complicated? You're sleeping with some woman named Clara and that's complicated? Mom gasped Michael. She looked like she was about to collapse. And me? I felt like someone had sucker punched me. Because in that moment, I realized Rachel wasn't accusing me of lying randomly. She actually believed I was helping Michael cover all this up. I stood, fists clenched. Rachel, listen to me. I had nothing to do with this. I didn't even know about Clara until right now. But she just laughed bitterly. You expect me to believe that every time I called, you had some excuse ready. You think I don't remember? Amanda finally lost it. Because you assumed, you never asked. You just decided my boyfriend was lying to you. You dragged him into this because you couldn't face the fact that your husband might be cheating. Rachel spun on her. Oh, so now you're defending him too. Of course. You two always stick together. Amanda's face flushed, but she didn't back down. Because he's innocent. The shouting match was so loud the kids in the living room started crying. Daniel tried to play peacemaker. Guys, chill, you're ruining everything, but no one listened. Then Michael finally raised his voice, cutting through all of it. Stop, just stop. It wasn't him. My brother didn't cover for me. If anyone should take the blame, it's me. The room went dead silent again. Michael's words hung in the air like a guillotine. Everyone froze, and for a moment, it felt like the walls of the dining room were closing in. Rachel's face twisted with fury, confusion, and hurt all at once. Wait, what do you mean it wasn't him? You've been with Clara, haven't you? He ran a hand through his hair, staring at the table. Yes, but none of this had anything to do with my brother. I was the one texting her, sneaking around, lying to everyone, not him. He didn't cover for me. I blinked, barely believing what I was hearing. Michael, you're saying all this, the lies, the excuses, that was all on you? Michael nodded miserably. I panicked when Rachel started asking questions. I thought if I told her the truth, it would destroy her, destroy our marriage. I was scared. I never wanted anyone else to get dragged into this. Rachel's lips trembled. So you lied to everyone? Yes, he admitted, his voice shaking. And yes, I made it look like my brother was involved because I didn't know how else to handle it. Amanda let out an exasperated sigh. Michael, this is insane. You dragged your brother into your mess for what? A few weeks of texting someone behind your wife's back. I wanted to scream, cry, and shake him all at once. I had been accused of covering up and I had nothing to do with, and the damage to my reputation with our family was already done. Mum's voice broke the silence, trembling and shaky. Michael, you've made a mess of your brother's birthday, our family, and your own marriage. Do you even understand that? Michael nodded, hanging his head. I know, Mom. I realize now how stupid and selfish I was. I never should have dragged him into this. Rachel's arms folded across her chest, tears in her eyes. And you expect me to just forgive this? He shook his head. No, I don't expect forgiveness. I want everyone to know the truth. The room was silent for a long moment. Daniel muttered, well, at least that clears him. He shot a glance at me, relief washing over his face. I sat down slowly, rubbing my temples. Finally, thank God. I can't believe I had to sit through all that. Amanda reached for my hand. You did nothing wrong. It wasn't your fault. Rachel didn't speak for a moment, just stared at Michael like she wasn't sure she could ever look at him the same way again. Finally, she whispered, I need time. Michael nodded, his eyes full of regret. I'll take all the time you need. I hope someday I can make this right. Mom finally exhaled loudly, leaning back in her chair. Well, cake's cold now, but happy birthday anyway, Michael. We all laughed nervously, the tension still lingering, but at least the accusations had stopped. For now, the storm had passed, but the cracks in our family were undeniable. After Michael's confession, the room felt weirdly quiet. Not the calm after a storm, but that awkward, brittle kind of silence where everyone's still reeling and not sure if they should speak. Mom tried to salvage things, nudging Michael toward the cake. Come on, let's at least pretend we're celebrating, she said, her voice trembling slightly. Michael sighed and tried a weak smile. Here, cake. Rachel didn't move. She sat stiffly, arms crossed, glaring at him. I'm not celebrating anything until I know we can move past this, she said softly but sharply, like a blade under the table. Daniel, ever the peacemaker, clapped his hands together. Okay, let's take a deep breath. People, the accusations are cleared. Can we at least eat, cake and stuff? Amanda nudged me under the table. Finally, some sanity. I laughed softly, the tension easing a fraction. Sanity might be overrated in this family, I muttered. Mom poured coffee and handed out slices of cake. Michael quietly is staring at the table. Rachel picked at hers, silent but not moving away. The atmosphere was still tense, but at least the verbal attacks had stopped. Then, Daniel decided to push a little too far. "So, Michael, you really thought dragging your brother into this was a good idea?" he asked, half teasing, half serious. Michael's jaw tightened. "No, absolutely not. I was an idiot, okay? I panicked. I wasn't thinking about anyone but myself. I couldn't resist a small jab still simmering. A little late to realize that, huh?" He gave me a faint, guilty smile. "Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, especially to you. I had no right." I exhaled, trying to let it go. "Well, apology accepted, but this birthday is officially the worst one ever." Rachel finally spoke, her voice quiet but firm. "Michael, if we're going to try to fix things, honesty has to come first. No more lies, no more excuses. Do you understand me?" Michael nodded, a serious expression on his face. "I get it, no more lies." Amanda smiled at me. "See, things are stabilizing, finally." I laughed softly. "Yeah, but don't get too comfortable. This family loves chaos too much to stay calm for long." Mom finally let herself breathe, sitting down and rubbing her temples. "I think we can try to salvage the rest of the evening, but no more accusations, no more drama, please." Daniel raised his slice of cake in a mock toast. To surviving another family disaster, we all half laughed, half sighed. Michael gave a small smile, Rachel just shook her head, and Amanda leaned against me. It wasn't perfect. Far from it. But at least the lies and false accusations had stopped. The party wasn't over, but the emotional explosion had calmed mostly. And I think, deep down, Michael finally realized just how much his actions had hurt everyone around him. As the night went on, small talk returned. The kids laughed, Daniel told a ridiculous story about his work, and Amanda and I shared quiet smiles. The shadows of the drama were still there, lingering, but at least for now, the storm had passed. Even though the initial explosion was over, the tension lingered like smoke in the room. Everyone was pretending to move on, but you could see the cracks Rachel's sharp glances at Michael, Mom's worried frowns, Daniel rolling his eyes whenever anyone mentioned work or late nights. Michael finally spoke up, breaking the silence. "I know saying sorry doesn't fix anything, but I want to try to make this right, not just with Rachel, but with everyone I dragged into my mess." Rachel crossed her arms, her voice soft but firm. "Michael, words aren't enough. You lied, deceived me, and dragged your family into it. I need actions, not speeches." I nodded, realizing she was right. Even though I had been wrongly accused, I could see how badly Michael had hurt people. "You really have to earn back their trust, Michael, and it's going to take time, no shortcuts." He looked at me, regret written across his face. "I know, and I'll take it. I can't believe I made my own brother a target." Daniel finally jumped in, trying to lighten the mood. "Hey, at least now we have the classic family drama story to tell at every party from here on out." I gave him a deadpan look. "Yeah, hilarious. Just what I wanted, rumors about me covering up and at my brother's birthday." Amanda chuckled softly, squeezing my hand. "You survived it. That's what matters." Mom finally spoke, her voice firm. "Michael, if you truly want to make amends, you're going to have to be completely transparent from now on. No secrets, no lies. Can you do that?" Michael swallowed hard, nodding. "Yes, Mom, I can. I will, I promise." Rachel took a deep breath. "I want to believe you, Michael, but right now I need space. I love you, but this broke my trust, and rebuilding that, it's going to take time." He nodded solemnly. "I understand. I'll do whatever it takes. I just want a chance." The rest of us sat quietly, eating cake and trying to bring some normalcy back. It was awkward, but the shutting, the accusations, the tension of that was over. For now. Later, as the kids played outside, Amanda whispered, "I think this party is actually ending without anyone storming out. Miracles do happen." I laughed quietly. "Yeah, but just barely." Daniel winked at me, raising his fork. "So same time next year, maybe with slightly less drama?" I shook my head, smiling. No promises. With our family, drama's basically the main course. Michael lingered behind, helping Mom clear the dishes. "Thanks for standing up for me," they said quietly to me. "I owe you more than I can say." I shrugged, trying to downplay it. "Just don't drag me into your next disaster, all right?" He chuckled weakly, and for the first time since the party started, I felt some relief. The storm had passed. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not fully repaired, but we were still a family, and somehow that counted for something. By the time the party started winding down, the atmosphere had softened. The tension wasn't gone entirely, but the shouting, accusations, and tears had finally been replaced by small, cautious conversations. Michael had disappeared into the kitchen with Mom to help clean, and Rachel was quietly talking to Daniel about some mundane work stuff. Amanda and I were helping the younger cousins clean up the leftover cake crumbs from the floor. I took a deep breath, trying to let the anger from earlier fade. It still stung, being falsely accused of covering and at my own brother's birthday. But seeing Michael take responsibility, even if it was painful, made it a little easier to forgive. Mom came over, handing me a plate of leftover cake. "You handled that well, better than I could have expected," she said softly. Her eyes held a mixture of pride and exhaustion. "I just wish these parties could be drama-free." I chuckled, taking a bite. "Mom, you know that's impossible. Family drama is basically our family's hobby." Amanda laughed quietly, leaning against me. "Honestly, I don't know how you survive these things without turning into a hermit." I smiled, thinking about how true that was. As I glanced toward Michael and Rachel, I felt a flicker of hope. Michael was helping pick up dishes, looking genuinely remorseful. Rachel was still quiet, but her shoulders had relaxed slightly. It wasn't perfect, but maybe this was a start. Later, when everyone was saying their goodbyes, Michael came over. "Hey, I just wanted to say again, I'm really sorry for dragging you into that mess. I'll make sure it never happens again." I nodded. "Just be honest next time, and don't make me the fall guy." He managed a small laugh. "Fair enough, I owe you big time." Rachel joined us briefly. She didn't hug him, but she offered a tentative smile. "I don't know how long it'll take, Michael, but we'll see. I need time." Michael nodded, accepting it. "I understand." As the last of the guests left, Mom finally collapsed onto the couch, letting out a long sigh. "I can't believe that just happened. Birthdays should be happy, not like a courtroom drama." I sat beside her. "Well, at least the truth came out. That's something, right?" Mom nodded, finally smiling a little. "Yes, that's something." Amanda wrapped her arm around me. "So next birthday, maybe we just go out to dinner instead of a big family gathering." I laughed. "Not a chance, but hey, at least we survived this one." As I turned off the lights and left the house, I realized something. Families are messy, complicated, and full of drama, but sometimes that messiness is what makes them family. Michael made mistakes, Rachel was hurt, and I was wrongly accused, but at the end of the day, we survived. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. The birthday party was over. The chaos had passed. And while the wounds would take time to heal, the truth was finally out, and that made all the difference.